Good evening, everyone. Good day, wonderful day. Good morning, wherever you are, of this wonderful world that we are living in today. Uh, for those of you that has been following us for the last few months, know me very well. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the time that we have been spending together. And hopefully for those of you that don't know me that well or don't know us that well, I'm Abed Baidas of Identity Branding Forum. And this is the website of our company. Take a look at it. We have been for decades doing amazing stuff, building amazing things all over the world. And we have passion towards helping people. We have passion about gathering people from everywhere that to share ideas, crazy ideas, wonderful ideas. Hopefully, for someday, we will all together will be able to build amazing things. And today is no exception. It's going to be another great one, another great discussion. And I hope you enjoy it and open-minded. Ask all the questions that you have in your mind. Share all the ideas that you would have, and that's why we are here. That's why we dedicate ourselves, dedicate our time. I did, and I appreciate every single one of you that taking a time, and I'm sure you have better things to do this time, but you made a decision to join me today, and I love you for this. And I'm proud of the time that I spent. Why? Because I spend the time that I spend, I'm spending it with my future. I'm spending it with the people that I see hope. I spend it with the people that have passion. They see in themselves things, amazing things, that nobody else is able to see other than you. And you've got what it takes to be different. You've got what it takes to be the one and only in whatever you would choose to do. And I'm very confident you will be very special. Thank you for joining me. And it's a privilege for me to be speaking, talking to you, to be spending my time with you, and hopefully that we will be sharing the ideas that we keep. This conversation today is about the humanizing work. Everybody is talking about the future. Everybody is talking about the problems the world is suffering in terms of the pandemic. No secrets. Things change dramatically, but with the dramatic change, and for myself, for example, I see dynamic change, better things that are rising, and we're going to be touching on those good things that we are seeing here. Since we are talking about the humanizing work, humanizing business, to discover was it is it a wishful thinking or something that really could happen, and this is the way it should be together. Ever since we were born, we all. Good evening, Dr. Manar. Pleasure. Thank you for joining us, you and your marvelous, brilliant students. From the time we were born, we always loved attention. Okay, little babies wanted attention. As we grew in our life, we always cherished attention. We always wanted somebody to talk to us. I remember when I was in college, I went to school in England in the early years of my life. I used to wait for that special card, special letter that comes from my mom and dad, bless their souls, today. And it had a special meaning. Actually, we cherish those moments a lot more than we do on those text messages or WhatsApp. Going to the post office, waiting for that letter to come from the loved ones. That was special. But that didn't change because the instinct associated with our love to be touched with whatever kind of word, prayers, somebody's asking about us. That makes you feel something different. That makes you feel different. It moves you up. Imagine how that today, with the world we are living, we are totally disconnected. We are isolated. We are no longer connected to the people that we care to spend time with today, whether on a social level, at work, going shopping together. All of these things have changed. And what we have to look at basically is that disconnection took away all the great things that made us feel good. Okay, be able to get that smiles, that apples, or whatever prayers and laughs that we used to share. And there is something else that is happening today. If you see these pictures, you see two guard dogs, and sheep. What's missing is the shepherd. And this is exactly the world of today. Everybody is waiting for somebody to give them direction. And unless those sheep and the dogs start making decisions, the direction they're going to choose, the shepherds aren't really connected with them today. And it's a reality, it's a sad reality. Businesses are no longer connected with employees. It wasn't a rosy picture before. The only difference was before because the only connection was the space we were sharing. But more than the space, we didn't really share ideas. We didn't share ambitions. Nobody really, not everybody cared about what happens at my home, with my kids, with my wife, with my family. Nobody cared. And it's always been me and me alone. That is the sentiment has been across the board. So the flocks, the sheep, the dogs aren't really are on their own today, or that's the way actually they feel. It is not the way it is, but it's the way they feel. That's the perception that they have with that disconnection with their bosses. And if you look at these pictures, the little peoples are you and I, being the employees, being the little guys on the streets, looking up, trying to figure out who's out there. They know their bosses. They know who are their management. They know who are the executives. But because they are not connected, all what they can see is a scary perception, a dinosaur, a gorilla that is totally disconnected from them and not even caring to look down to see who really calling or crying for help. This is the reality. So help is out of reach for you and I, the little guys at work, the little guys at school, for example, people that are trying to get jobs, people are trying to really get their businesses going. Uh, that disconnection, however tough it is, it actually creates an opportunity. It creates a new era that in a minute we're going to discover how prosperous it is if we took advantage of it. You and I. Now let's go back to basics. Everything is about relationship. Anything you do in your life, whether on a personal level, at school, in business, a job, it's about relationships. How your relationship it is with everybody that is connected with you. How is your relationship with everybody that you really care about? And so, what you really need to start thinking about today is the quality of the relationship that you are having or you want to have. And the next thing you want to do is decide what you're going to do with it, with those relationships. Because if you have no idea what you're going to do with those relationships, it's worthless. Don't waste your time. So, and then you need to figure out how you're going to develop those relationships in order to be meaningful, to be relevant. So you need to start thinking the relationships that you're going to be developing is relevant to your career, is relevant to your business, to everything that you want to do, you want to build. You need to fix your car, you need a good relationship with a quality mechanic. You have a pain, you need a relationship with a good doctor. And if your relationship is good enough, great enough, he may give you a discount. I don't know how much of a discount it is, or the mechanic will give you a discount. But you really need to start thinking that the better the quality of the relationship with other people in your life, the greater the privileges that you're gonna get. Basics, right? And what's important with those relationships is you really need to figure out how to get connected to them and reconnect, how to engage with them in activities in order to make sure those relationships get you to where you want to get them. Before we get started, let's start with a couple of polls here. Okay? The first poll I want to see is, how hopeful are you of the future? Please do participate, all of you. Okay, great. Let me show you results to everybody. Now all of you can see the results. Please share. Share how exactly you see it and how exactly you feel about it. Right? I'm sure more of you can participate. Come on. Please, please, more people, more people. Please, 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 more people. Okay. Is that it? Right, not bad. 4.5 of us. Another one. How likely are you to change your career? In other words, you started a way and now you're discovering that way isn't good enough. You need to change. How likely? So, wow, kind of tough reading. Right? Let me share the results with everybody. Come on, guys. You see, we have sporadic outcome. We have people that very likely they will change. Okay, and actually, those are the majority that they will change their career. And then we have uh, maybe they will change their career. That's a 3 stars. And only few are they will not likely that they will change their career. They're happy where they are. Okay, now let's last poll. Rate your career confidence. How confident are you in your career right now, or the choices you have made about your career? It's a tie. One third, one third, one third. Who's gonna break that tie? Great. Okay, we are edging up. We're staying close. You guys are sitting together or something? 36, 36. Okay, good. I'm glad to see that confidence is there. All right, let's get back into this conversation that we are having. Do not know how to answer. Okay, you will know how to answer when we finish this conversation. And anytime, by the way, guys, if you have a problem not hearing or seeing, please refresh your page in order to get back to us properly. Because we want to make sure nobody misses this conversation. And so, but one thing is important when you try to stay connected with people: make it an authentic communication. Okay, make it emotional connection. What do I mean authentic communication? Don't send massive page. The weather is so nice today. Great. Ask the person, how do you feel today? Make it authentic. Make it emotional. How is that project going? What is it that you're struggling with that I can help you with? I would love to see you happy. What is it that I can do to make you happier? Try to create that connection. In the chats, please write a statement that you make an emotional connection with me. In line what I just said. How else we can help you with? How are you having any difficulties? That nature. Let's see how spontaneous you guys are. Write in the chats. I want you to make a connection with me. okay, or whoever you want to make a connection with. What would you be? What would be the first thing to ask me to make that emotional connection? In the chats, I'm waiting. I'm looking. I see no attempt. Talk to your father, your mother, your grandma, your friends, your wife, your sister, your brother, anybody, your neighbor. Great. Is there anything I can do to help you? Yes, $1 billion check. I will take blank checks or two. What else? Give it a try, guys. I want to see. I want to see. I want to make sure that you have, because I know you. It's in there with you. Come on, please let me know anything you need. Are you happy with your career? So far, I am. Okay. Thank you, Khaldun, for asking. So far, I am. Are you happy with your career? How do you feel about your life choices? Most of them are great. Some of them, I don't regret them because we learn lessons in life. But thanks for asking. How did my goals change over the years? I got closer to humanity. I lost sight of making money, and I fell in love of connecting to people and win their hearts. That's why I'm rich with my ideas, poor in my pocket, such as life. Any other try? Okay. Now you get that. Now you have an idea what it is that I'm trying to refer to. Make it an authentic communication. So what you really need to do is try to focus on what matters the most to people. When you're trying to make that authentic communication, make sure it's something that it clicks with them positively. If you see somebody feeling bad, you don't look at them and say whatever, but that you see, and try to emphasize that bad feelings. Make sure that you pull them out. Think of entertainment. Think of how a comedian would pull you out. Start with a smile. But imagine with the disconnect that employees, students are having today all over the world, how they feel. Nobody's worried about what matters to them at this point. Before the pandemic, they didn't. Most of businesses didn't care. All what they cared about is the result. But that is about to change. That is being changed dramatically in all over the world, as we'll be seeing in a minute. But make sure the communication with your employees, your friends, your family, your relevance, your relatives, with everybody that matters to you, is meaningful. Make sure the first questions that you're always programmed to ask before you meet people, it has to be programmed. How you gonna develop that happy path at any settings that you're gonna have. And this is what I like about this term, systematic serendipity. And what we always create events to get answers to questions, to get positive response to something. Now, a lot of those events happen either by coincidence or programmed. Okay, serendipity is these are events, reactions, happy endings, fortunate strokes. For example, you wake up in the morning, you go into your closet, dig in your jacket, you find $1,000 bill. My friend Samir Abdul Hadi left some time ago and delivered as a surprise for me. Okay, so that is what we call a positive findings, discovery. It's a happy one. You're walking on the streets and you find a $20 bill. That is a happy coincidence. Imagine if you're walking the streets and an accident and by design you're throwing money on the street. I want to share with you a story that happened to me years ago in Brazil, and we went into Dunkin' Donut. My partners and I decided to go to Dunkin' Donut shop in Sao Paulo. And in front of that Dunkin' Donut, that was back in the early 80s. Okay, most of you weren't even born. by the way. And little kid was sleeping in front of that door. We went in, we ate our donut, and I decided to buy a couple of dozens of donuts in a bag, put them, leave them to that for that kid. When we left, that kid still asleep. He was about 11, 12 years old. And left the bag next to him, didn't wake him up, and walked away and stood waiting to see what is going to happen. I want to make sure if somebody comes in and steal that bag, to go back into Dunkin' Donut and buy another couple of dozens for that little kid. But I didn't want to disturb his peace sleeping. An older gentleman walks by, stood, he was watching what's happening, staring at the little kid and the bag. Next thing, he wakes up the kid, points to the bag. The kid opens his eyes, rubbing them. What happened next is totally unexpected. Not only because I have seen the most precious, genuine smile being drawn on the face of that little kid, but the touch of generosity that was embedded in the heart of that kid. He took a couple of donuts and gave it to the old man. I know it might not meant much to that kid, but for him, it was the highlight of his life, probably for that moment. Think about events that you can create like that. Surprise people. People are that you don't know, people that you know. That's what really makes you build the relationships, pure relationships that are relevant, that are meaningful. Money at that time of life when I donated that part, we were very comfortable. Okay, but it wasn't about the money. It was about the passion because I always love to help people. To see the happiness paint drawn on their face because you're able to change somebody feel better that way. And this is think carefully of this diagram. Some of you probably saw it before. Most businesses today focus on the 20%, the 5% that they know, and the 15% that they know they don't know. 80% they don't know. Why? Because they're not connected to their employees. They're not connected to the market. They're only connected to their bottom line. They're only connected with something that's pulling them away from the real opportunities in the market. Imagine if they were so connected to the 80%, how the impact today on business could have been. Different, greatly different. So people's happiness formulas, think of this very carefully. The perception of the event of your life, eventually that you create, similar to the one that I gave the donuts to that little kid. Less expectations of how life should behave creates happiness. We are burdening people today, students at schools, they are burdened with expectations that you get a pass in order to get the first best jobs. A scary study that I am seeing today all over the world was done by Gallup. Over 50% of parents today prefer their kids not going to college after high school. Think of those numbers. Think of those changes in. So if we want people to become productive, we need to reduce the burdens of expectations of them. That would unleash their minds. That would unleash their potentials. That will change them to the better people. So, and that's how we create sustainable business, because the only way you're going to become sustainable business in your approach, in the way you focus on the dynamic, by focusing on the dynamic relationships with your employees with their families, your employees with their relatives, with their neighbors, in their communities. Think of how you're going to really nurture those relationships of your employees. So now you're better connected to your ecosystem. to the whole world of business that you really care about. You care about getting them buying your product or your services, but you really haven't spent enough time on the channels, the pathways to those markets. And those pathways are your people, your employees. Think hard of how you're going to invest in them so they become the relationships that is going to help you grow in the community, that is going to help you grow anywhere in the world that you are trying to expand to. After with the situation of COVID-19, we have a disorder. Everybody sees uh, things are changing. We're talking about the new normal. We're talking about the nothing is going to go back the way it was before. True, and but when you think anytime you change something that forces you to change, you will have a new order to be developed. Okay, when Henry Ford created that car, engine combustion, he said a statement, very popular statement. If I wanted to listen to what people want, I would be making buggies for their horses on the farm. So with his cars, now we need roads. That's disorder. We need new laborers, taking people from the farms to put them in the factory. That's disorder. Okay? So anytime that we're looking to change, so what happened today to COVID-19 is really a blessing that is creating an opportunity. And this is why, because we have been pushed to the edge of chaos. And I love to do this with my students wherever I feel. I enjoy this. Imagine if you have 100 students in a hall waiting for you to watch you walking in, and next thing you switch the lights off, turn off the internet, and ask them, guys, civilization has just ended. What are we gonna do from now on? That's chaos because everybody we're used to do things in the old based on what we have learned the way it happened before. We are not programmed to believe on what could happen next. The opportunities. So when you have when you have an old order hit chaos, and new spontaneous orders will be born. And that's what become the newer opportunities. That becomes what I call the spontaneous opportunities. So we instead of worrying about what was, let's focus today on what is coming. This is really the beauty of the opportunities COVID-19 created. Everybody's crying COVID-19. COVID-19 actually is not a game changer. It's an accelerator. Look at e-learning. The universities, it was available in 2002. We were involved in it. We were the first that started it, actually, brought it to the Arab world in 2002. Universities fought it, didn't want it. COVID-19 in 2020 forced universities to jump into e-learning, digital education, call whatever. This is not the debate here. So COVID-19 accelerated the push to what's really supposed to be happening. But it also did something else. It helped us to start thinking how to get back to be close together. And this is what we really need to see. So we have been hearing about endearing firms, and this is really the future. And this is what actually COVID-19 pushed everybody towards how do we have passion for humanity in order for us to grow. Firms of endearment is not the new, okay? So And that's what major corporations around the world did actually focus and they built. They made it their passion to profit with a purpose, out of purpose, by helping their employees, by helping their people, by helping their communities, by investing in everybody, not in just in tooling and machineries. And this is actually, unfortunately, we are lacking big in the Arab world. I loved actually, by the way, last week I'm reading about the company in Sharjah that is going to start paying a percentage of this of the husband's salaries to the wife. That's a great corporate social responsibility. That's a great thank you for the woman that is supporting the husband. But this is the kind of thinking, the forward thinking we really need to start thinking about today, either as students, because you are thinking about how to change the future tomorrow for your employers or your own business or current businesses or employees. These are the forward ideas that help to bring people closer together. Imagine when you start creating that dialogue, authentic dialogue, trying to help people. What are you dreaming to help? What is it that your life dream? What is it that your family wants to do in their life? Let me hear your ideas and help you make them come true. This is what you really want to start thinking about. This is what you really, that's what will change our world. And this is why firms of endearment have become successful. Don't play tricks on me, I'm tired of that. No. Why is it doing that? All right. So the biggest, the biggest, what I call it, common grounds among those firms of endearment, and I'm sorry for this slide is not accepting it, is basically because they align their ambition with the employees, with the people. This is their biggest win, and that's why firms of endearment they outperform most of indexes around the world in 2013. Okay, we don't have a current studies on this. Look at this. In 15 years, they grew out 1,681%. Okay, compared to S&P index, which is 118%. Why? Because those firms of endearment they are focused on their employees, the welfare of their employees, their communities, the welfare of everybody that is relevant to their business, their customers as well. And these are some of the companies that talks big. Think of Starbucks. Starbucks is a company that actually did something really beautiful, and I love so much. They partnered with the universities in Arizona State University, I think, and every employee that works there, they send them back to finish college at the expense. They study online. They send them to finish to finish their degree. Now their jobs, whether they are on a cashier on the counter serving people, the company is paying for them to finish their education. Tell me why wouldn't those people be loyal to that company? Wouldn't be passionate work, getting in the morning, going to that store and working their heart out for that company. When in the areas where they have farmers that supplies them with the coffee, in a number of those areas they were flooded. They sent help for those farmers and their families. That's the kind of companies we need. That's the kind of thinking we need for our students, for our employees, for everybody that's out there. And that's the common between among those companies. They really focus in terms of allowing everybody to speak out, like Honda, for example. They have an open door policies when there are problems. Make sure the open door policies is all the time, not just not when you're having a problem. You want to make sure everybody got a chance to state out what they think, good or bad. Listen to them. They are the front line. Imagine the guy that stands by the door allowing your customers to come in, if he is pissed off at you, how miserable he's going to make your customers to be. And the unique benefit for all of these companies is the marketing costs are much lower, the retention is much higher of their customers, their employees turnover is much lower. Now I want you to think as a student, how would you want the type of strategy, attitude that you start developing for yourself in order to build relationships now, not when you graduate. I want you to think how the type of relationships is going to help you building your career. I want you to think in terms of the things that is going to change the relationship that's going to help you change your life. How are we going to get them? And I'll tell you what, start now hitting them. Because if you wait until you graduate, it's too late. So start thinking how you create a social impact that has an impact on the business. We shared the example of Starbucks. Let's share more examples. We have direct opportunities, indirect opportunities. Starbucks sells coffee, right? Indirect opportunities, they send their employees to college to finish to boost their morale, get them to be passionate on the job. That is going to help create a friendly environment for inviting the people, the customers to come in. So they created this positive impact on the employees that had really exponential impact on the business in itself. There's another example. I love what KFC did. KFC contributed to an organization in the United States that provides backpacks to students across 45 states. Okay, and this organization, they have thousand some programs. And what KFC did is supported that organization and also provided 1 million meal to those kids. It was social impact, actually bringing happiness to kids during the pandemic. But they did something really unique. They were able to remind customers at home that KFC is there for your kids. How would that change the attitude of parents that goes to Texas chicken, for example, or Popeyes? So they created a social impact that has an impact on the business. But there is another story. These companies really they moved from focusing on the profits to creating a purpose and value. So when KFC, other companies invested, they didn't think about the profits. They thought of the value. How would they really make people feel great about themselves, how happy? The donut story. You open up the bag, you open up your backpack, and you find a gift from the KFC for a lunch for you and your parents and your loved ones. So focus on reducing expectations. Take expectations out. The more expectations you take out, the better the outcome would be. The problem with us today, we are very suspicious of everybody around us. So that's why we have to test them. We have to supervise them. We have to monitor them. Are we doing that today? Honestly, no. Why? The proof is out there. Employees at home, bosses at home, offices are empty. Students at home, instructors at home, universities are empty. Yes, some of them are going back to some normal. But I want you to think carefully of the message that I'm relaying here. An event happened that actually separated us, disconnected us. Now we really need to start thinking, how do we start going back to those postcards, mailers, personalized postcards, because I want that employee sitting at home worried about his future, feel comfortable that his future is protected and is there. We need, perhaps we really need to start thinking of the old ways of communication, reaching out, right? Uh, Asking more often, more personalized. Don't wait for a Zoom meeting to talk to everybody. Pick up that phone. Don't send just a WhatsApp message to say, "Hi guys, how are you?" Pick up that phone. I want to hear your voice. When is the last time any of you guys thought of picking up the phone and calling me? I haven't heard from any of you in a long time. So keep a note of that. The story here is how could you become desirable? And the only way you're going to become desirable is when you become cheerful, entertaining, simple, uh, able to touch people's hearts. When you see somebody down, pick them up. When you see somebody excited, carry them over and make them feel that you are really happy to see them happy. Make them feel it, not just by words, make them feel it. Make sure, let them see you. You are there as their partner. You are there as their companion. You are there as their support. You are there for everything that they want to do, and you are willing to help them, give it to them, give it to your best to help them be their best. When is it that you last time walked into the class and asked your instructor, your teacher, your professor, how can I help you today? Do you need any help today? I am sure a lot of those doctors will feel great just to see their students coming in and say, how can we help you today? They're not accustomed to that because they walk into you will throw them off the ground, off of their feet. They will flip. They're not expecting this because they walk into the class with their mind program. I'm going to help you guys. Turn the table over, and see what happens. The relationships will become much greater. I guarantee you. And this is really as simple as that. So basically, do things not because of what you expect in return, or yeah, I'm giving you an assignment for expectations. I'm going to let you do things because I want you to be happy, not because I want you to fail and pass. Forget failing and pass. I want to go to the class to enjoy this. I want to go to the class to listen, to be challenged, I want to go to work, not just because I have to, because I love to. We really need to start changing the way we think from you have to go to because you love to go. I don't have to go, but I love to go. Think of how you're going to really change the attitude of everyone, the way we think in anything you do in your life, at home, in job, in school, wherever you are. Change the way that getting people to start, instead of thinking you have to do this, into I would love to do this. I'm not going to work because I have to, because I need to. I'm going there because I really love being there with you guys. I come here every week at 7 o'clock in the evening because I enjoy the time that I spend talking to you, hoping somebody's gonna pick up the phone and says, Abed Baidas, how are you feeling today? How can we help you today? Make my evening. Who's gonna be calling me now? Won't. Wait until this session is over. So big people will say big companies have the money to do it. How could the startups or struggling companies do it? This is being said only because most of the companies are stuck up in their old way of thinking. They keep thinking about their bottom lines. They keep thinking about the money they spend in the tough times, how they're gonna see it back. You're not gonna see it. If this is the way you think when you started the business, you wouldn't be in business to begin with. So what you really need to start thinking about basically is really get rid of a lot of those mindsets, blocks that you put in your mind. So stop being a rusty tin man. You really need to start thinking about how to really change those ideas, change the things that pulls you up. What you really need to start doing is easy. Show people that you care. Tell people what they want to hear. To affirm to them. Give them affirmation, but be genuine. Okay? And most people will tell you anything, even if they lie. No, don't lie. Okay, I don't like that. Make instead of being an unpleasant truth, make it a pleasant truth. Guys, times are tough, but let's work together to make them better times for all of us. You see, it's positive affirmation. It's a positive message out there. It's simple. It's how we choose our words. It's how we choose our action that comforts us, that touches us. Remember, everybody loves to be touched. Sometimes, imagine if you are focused on touching them most of the time or all of the time. That path will keep you connected not only to the people that matter to you, but to the opportunities that you are pursuing. So how are we going to keep that pipeline open to keep your people engaged with you so you're always connected to feed them to listen to them and be able to affirm positive messages to them. That's why we created Talents of Endearment. And that's why we created Talents of Endearment because most companies, students don't really have the courage or the resources to make it happen. That's why they don't have the ways, the means, the tools, the experience to make it happen. And it doesn't really take much. All what you really need to do is we help people to start really learning how to communicate with the people that are closest to you at home, in your family, your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, to discover the things that you really care about. And the way we do it is simple. We don't really tell you what to do, what you really need to do, what you really need to learn. All what we really need to do is bring you together with others from around the world, businesses, students, startups, to collaborate, thinking, imagining, and build and think about how to create social, how they can change society, how they can create social impact that has an impact on them and the people that they really care about, their businesses. So think of the future. Remember, most companies, businesses today are worried because their mind is still set on what was before, not what is happening now, what's happening next. So in order to really to move forward, you really need to start listening to people. And not to start with your market. You really need to start listening to your employees. Every single employee you have, you really need to start listening to them. And that's what we do. We make sure you start thinking, and that's what really boosts your morale. Because now you're connected with everything that you really care about. Now the businesses joining us are connected with everything that employees cares about. Can you see how that's going to impact everybody's morale? Their family, your employees' families' morale, the students of the future workforce morale, because now we are connected to the future of the things that we can do together. And I love this that I put it. We always say is the mother of invention. Necessity is the mother of all invention. But how do we really change things? Uh, Imagining a different world. Today we're talking about robots, AIs, and the likes, and everything else. These are our imagination. Flying today was an imagination. Somebody wanted to fly like a bird. And that's what we really need to focus to be creative. And what we really want to do is allow what we do at Talents of Endearment. And this is the message we tell everybody, all institutions that we're working with and businesses that we are talking to. Allow everybody to think crazy. Imagine. Don't stop them because you don't like the idea. See how they can make that idea, that imagination come reality because you're going to see fortunes coming your way. Don't believe me? Think IBM, Bill Gates. Think the Android and Nokia. And I can go on and on and on with those stories. And these are think when you talk about the new normal, with everything right now is of less, contactless, officeless, borderless, education less, money less, paper less, social less, travel less, malls less, love less, emotion less. These are the new opportunities, things to think about, and imagine what you can do to change it. This is where you need to just become legendary in what you do, legendary and making people happy. That's when you start creating successful companies able to grow, not because of how great your product is or your services, but because how great you are with your people, your employees, with your society, with the future, with everything that is connected to you, your career, your future. That's how you're able to live the future of your dreams. Nobody's going to hand it to you because you have a plush offices or you have a title after your name. Titles don't matter if everybody dislike you, if everybody doesn't see you desirable. And what you really need to start thinking about basically is how to win people. And that's what we focus on in terms of endearment. And everybody we talk to throughout all of our webinars, we try to convince people your future is not in how good you are with the stuff you design, you sell. It is how your success is relevant to how many people that you're gonna make love you. How many people is gonna be thinking about you day and night to be their future. So we teach everybody to learn to give to grow. Because if you did not learn to give, you're never gonna grow. And to give, it has to be relevant to you, to what's relevant to your business. Create an impact that has an impact in your business. That's what matters. That's what you really need to focus on. That's what we help people to focus on. And we help everybody to focus on the greater good for all. Because we don't care to just one person. I want everybody to be happy. I want to be everybody that I'm connected. Everybody that is connected to my connection, to my surroundings, to feel great. I want to be connected to everybody. I want to make sure that every boss, every manager is able to take time once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. It doesn't matter. Or a doctor in college, in class. Get your students come together with their families. Get to know everybody. That's when you start listening to what everybody's aspirations. Now you're connected. Now your education ideas start connecting to education with how everybody else is looking, what is looking for, what the new ideas are looking for. If education is not connected to ground reality, it's a ground zero. So what we really need to do is focus on the ground realities, opportunities, and the only way we're going to do it is by connecting to people. And that's what we focus on doing in terms of endearment. The boards that we are creating is to help educators to get connected to the opportunities of the local markets, to people, listening to people. When is it the last time that you thought of to really have a go out event for your students and their families to get to know them, for your students and the businesses in the community to get everybody to know everybody? We don't have to wait for that special event created by the university once a year, because that's not authentic. Think authentic. Remember, go back earlier in the slides. What we really need to do is focus to be authentic in what we do. As a student today, as a person, doesn't matter, you're a student, or professional, or whatever, go home and start thinking about how you start creating events to bring everybody together, entertain them, but listen to them also. That's going to give you an idea. And that's why we created this for high school students and teachers, college students and faculties, fresh graduates, businesses, and professionals. And like we said before, it's a one lifetime subscription that we provide everybody. And what we do is help you give you a 5 years platform in order to build your own ecosystem. So every employee joining the program is going to be able to build their ecosystem connected to their business, to the business that they're working for, and the market, their families, and everything else. So now today a business, if it's only connected to the employees, now they're connected to the employees' families, neighborhoods, relatives, a whole community that they did not know about before. And we give everybody lifetime support. So you're never alone in your career. Whether you're a student or an employee or a business, you're always connected to an expert help online, 24 hours, 7. It doesn't stop, and you only pay once, $90. This is for the next 3 events that we are creating career labs. It's about $1.50. And if you don't believe us, this is good enough. Try us. We're confident. Try it for 3 days, like we said before. And if you like the program, you pay 150 a lifetime. One time you pay it, and you get all those benefits. And if you didn't like it, and you don't feel like this is for you, just leave the program after the 3 days. It's our gift to you, and you owe nothing with us. And business school universities can join us online for consultation to see how we can help you. And we'll make sure that we'll share the links with you to join the Career Lab with us to see you. Whether you paid for it to save $210 or you join us for the 3 days, please join because it's going to make a total difference in your life. Now, any questions, guys? Thank you. Any question? Did I cover it all? Thank you all. I really make sure, make sure, join the program. And I apologize that we don't have them on the links today, but I'll make sure that you get them through the emails that we will share with you after this this session is over. From this minute on, whatever ideas you have today is going to impact your future for the rest of your life. Make it positive. Think of the relationships that you're going to develop. Show me. There is a statement that I heard from somebody. I cannot remember the name. Show me your friends. I'll tell you what kind of future you're going to have. Make sure the relationships that you are building is the ones going to help you. If you're having tough time doing it, spend time going to work, to events, to mingle with rich people, successful people. Find somebody that is going to guide you, encourage you, becomes like your icon, that is going to lift you in order for the things to be better. What you really need to start doing, start thinking big. Okay? I don't have the money to go and buy a Rolls Royce, but go to the Rolls Royce showroom, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, whatever, and tell yourself, program yourself, in 1 year or 2 years, I'm going to own one of these cars. Set your mind on that car. Now your mind is programmed. Now your mind start directing your feelings to what you really should be doing, because now it's programmed that you want to do it. Start shopping for expensive houses, the $5 million or $10 million or the dirhams, wherever you are. Don't tell yourself, I cannot afford it, why should I go there? If you start telling you this, you're a failure. Start telling yourself that I'm gonna own this house. Make your mind believe now that you're gonna make it. Make your mind program, because it's just, your mind is like a computer. What it spits out whatever you feed it. And this is your subliminal control over your emotions. When you get excited of doing something and something pulls you back, it's how you programmed your mind, or whatever was in the program in your mind from years ago. Take that away. Start going to places where you start feeling successful, seeing yourself successful. You deserve a lot more that I can have or anybody else can have. Don't let your thoughts hold you back. Don't let anybody hold you back. You only hold yourself back with what you got here or got yourself convinced to be here. And I'm convinced every single one of you got what it takes to become the next Bill Gates, whoever you want to see. And make sure if you have that icon, read about them. Read about the people that were broke, didn't have any money, and they became filthy rich today. So you know what they have been through. Read success stories. Read Abed Baidas, Love and Passion for You to Be Successful. Thank you. God bless. Please stay safe. Please stay positive, productive. I am here to help you. I'm your brother, your father, your grandfather, there to see you grow because once you do, I know I will grow. Thank you guys. Love you. Take good care of yourself and stay safe with you and your loved ones. God bless. Thank you.